The Texas House has voted to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton just an hour ago. This is a live look from inside the House chamber in Austin, Texas. That vote, 121 to 23, triggers Paxton's immediate suspension from office pending the outcome of a trial in the state Senate. Let's go directly out to our Janelle Bluda, who was there for the entire time of the proceedings in Austin when that vote happened as well. And Janelle, I imagine a lot of activity there at the Capitol today.
As you can imagine, definitely a historic day here at the Capitol. As you mentioned, the House voting 121 to 23 in favor of sending those impeachment articles of Attorney General Ken Paxton to the Senate for a trial. Now, that hearing started promptly at 1 o'clock today. House members were given 4 hours to debate this issue. In the first hour, we heard from the Committee of General Investigating, the ones who launched the investigation. They laid out the different articles of impeachment and allegations against Paxton. Members then had a chance to ask the committee questions on how their process unfolded and who they hired to do the investigation. Some alluded to this investigation being politically motivated, which the committee chair denied. Afterwards, those who were against the impeachment vote had their chance to speak, saying they should have had more time and more notice prior to this happening. They also wanted access to more evidence and testimony taken under oath. Then, just before 5 o'clock today, they held that vote where 121 members from both parties voted to push the impeachment forward to the Senate.
We take this role solemnly, seriously, and with great humility. We will not tolerate corruption, bribery, abuse of office, retaliation, and all the related charges that have been presented to you.
Well, Ken Paxton himself was not here in person for the hearing. However, he was active on social media, reposting messages in support of him. After the vote, he released a statement calling today's impeachment illegal, unethical, and profoundly unjust, saying he has full confidence the process in the Texas Senate will be fair and just. Now, meanwhile, the House is getting back to work. Up on their agenda is the budget, the one thing they must pass before this session is over. Back to you.
All right, indeed, short period of time to get that work done. Thank you so much, Janelle. As Janelle said, Paxton released a statement just moments ago saying in part, the ugly spectacle in the Texas House today confirmed the outrageous impeachment plot against me was never meant to be fair or just. It was a politically motivated sham from the beginning, end quote. You can read the full statement online right now at KHOU.com. Let's bring in KHOU political analyst Bob Stein. He was here when the vote came in, joined us live on the air, and what we want to know now is, usually in a process when people go before a court, they can appeal. Can Paxton challenge this vote?
He can, and I suspect he might. In fact, I think Tuesday morning he might be before the Supreme Court asking for injunctive relief. The state constitution is, and I'm not a lawyer here, I want to be clear, but my reading of it says that you cannot be impeached for acts that you committed before you were elected. A.G. Paxton was elected in November of 2022. I read all 20 of the charges in the indictment are about actions that occurred before he was elected or re-elected. So there's a chance. Will he get the Supreme Court? They may give him an injunction, but I doubt it. My guess is he will have to wait until he goes to trial.
Now we know next step, this goes to trial in the Senate. Any idea when that might happen?
I think that's up to the lieutenant governor, but my guess is they'll want to do this very quickly. As you heard from Janelle, there's a big legislative agenda. They want this over with. If they're going to give him a, quote, fair hearing, it could take weeks. I don't think they're going to stall.
All right. And does the Senate convict him?
My money is yeah. This wouldn't have happened. 70% of the Republicans in the House voted to indict. I think what happened here was the Speaker went to the Lieutenant Governor and said, I've got the votes. And I think the Lieutenant Governor said, I will deliver a conviction. I think he's going to be convicted shortly.
Sounds like a lot more will come out in the Senate, and voters who may have supported him in the past may...
Well, they supported a Republican on the ticket.
There you go.
And they had no idea. And I think if they hear about particularly the $3 million he wanted the taxpayers of Texas to pay for his wrong deeds, no, I don't think he's got a political future in this environment.
So in your opinion, this came down to the money to get everyone's attention?
One of the greatest ironies of this is that Paxton has taken money from everybody. He had plenty of money to pay off these whistleblowers. Why the arrogance of going to the House and saying, pay my bill? He could have gotten out of this. All these other deeds may have risen to impeachment, but this is what I think was the straw that broke the camel's back. He really aggravated the Speaker, Muir, and 121 members of the House.
All right, we know you'll be watching, and we will as well. Thank you so much, Bob Stein, joining us
pleasure.
live here on the air. Here's a closer look at the Houston area Republicans who voted for impeachment. There were 11 of them, 2 from College Station. Conroe, Galveston, Friendswood, Angleton, Richmond, Briscoe Kane, who represents Deer Park, and then 2 Houston Republicans.
I do believe that it's long overdue, but we unfortunately have been operating with a very corrupt Attorney General.
And that was Fort Bend County Representative Ron Reynolds, who was actually in our area today during the Paxton impeachment proceedings. He left immediately to go to Austin for the hearing after attending an event in Missouri City. Former President Donald Trump and Texas Senator Ted Cruz are defending Paxton. Trump made remarks on Truth Social today. He says what's happening to Paxton is unfair. Cruz echoed Trump's comments and said what's happening to Paxton is a travesty. Cruz says Paxton is the strongest conservative attorney general in the country and says the state legislature should respect the choice of Texas voters.